This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, August 1st. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home automation, home technology. I don't know, summer fun. You guys having fun this summer? It's really hot here.
Yeah. It's really hot here.
It just keeps raining here.
Rain.
So much rain, so much heat. I don't understand. We're having like the wettest summer and as far as I can remember.
It's rainy and it gets hotter here. I don't know how that's working, but
I heard you broke records there in your terms of your heat, Seth, in Florida.
Maybe. I don't know. I looked on the thing the other day and it was like, feels like 116. I'm like, I am not going outside. I have stuff to do. It's just not happening. So yeah, we're pretty much opposed to going outside now. I have all sorts of stuff to do outside too, and it's not going to happen. So
yeah, you got to wait for the fall for that. I've been trying to hold off on the fall for some
not
projects.
Fall here. We got to wait way back for like winter.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, you don't have snow to deal with. So yeah, I have to do all the outside stuff before winter, even though we don't have any snow because the ground's cold and it's cold outside, and I don't want to do stuff outside.
Yeah, we don't have that here. We have a slight cooling period, and then it's back to preheating for summer. So
yeah, we've been dealing with some high temperatures here. Like even the pool feels hot. So I mean that's a good thing. So
well, I think it's good for you guys to get this under your belt because if we're going to CES in January. Right. I guess January is probably going to be pretty cold.
Yeah, it's going to be cool there in January.
In Vegas? I don't know anything about Vegas weather, so.
Yeah, it'll be cool in Vegas.
It'll be nice, I'm sure. And January is probably a nice time to go to Vegas. I guess we're supposedly doing this and meeting up there, right? That's what's happening. We're going to do this. I'm not going to CEDIA now, so I guess I can go to CES. I'll put that in.
Yeah, Gavin and I are going. I'm bringing Nicole. Seth still hasn't actually confirmed. He says he is, but we know Seth. He'll wait till the last second to do anything.
It's fair.
Gavin and I did book an Airbnb, but I've canceled it so we can find something else because we've changed our dates. But right now we will be going the 4th through the 9th. So if you're going to be at CES, let us know.
There we go. Vegas.
I'm excited. I don't know if any of you guys have been to CES before, but I've never been. I've wanted to go for so many years.
No, I've never even been to Vegas, honestly. I honestly don't have any desire to go to Vegas. I'm not like a gambler or like a big show person. So like the whole Vegas thing does not appeal to me, but I have always wanted to go to CES since I was a kid.
I've been to Vegas multiple times for when poker was hot to play poker and stuff, but not CES.
Yeah, not my thing, but CES sounds like fun. I understand that like 85% of everything I see is never going to come out, but it's just seeing all the stuff that's there. It's seeing the possibilities of what could be out there.
The promise.
That's right. And especially with AI, I'm sure that won't get any worse.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Look at all these AI products that'll never exist.
Well, I'm scooting forward on the Sphere show to see, the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. That'll be playing while CES is going on. I don't know what that is. Sounds trippy though.
Maybe we can find some discount tickets to the Sphere, that giant little dome thing.
Looks like they're just playing the Wizard of Oz, unless you hang around till Friday and Saturday, and Zach Brown Band look like it's playing. So
in the Sphere?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. It's a good venue actually. It's one of those things I would definitely do once or twice. I don't know. It's an experience though, for sure. They did a good job with it. It's fun. Anyway, I saw, what is the Grateful Dead tribute band there? I forget the name of it. Anyway, it was Grateful Dead music. And there was a lot of smoke in there, but they had no smoke machines. It was really weird. Yeah. It's a good concert though. Real trippy. But we do have a bunch of HomeTech headlines, and we have an interview tonight. So what do you guys say we get started?
Let's do it.
All right. It's official. Sonos CEO Tom Conrad is now the official CEO. I guess he was previously the interim CDO. Now he's played it forward, and now he's the CEO. And TJ, that's your friend, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this is the first AI CEO we've heard of.
Yeah.
Has there been any other ones? Has anybody else done this before? Is Sonos the only one?
Yeah, we're still not sure he exists, but people say he does. I don't know. I've never seen him, never met him. TJ supposedly talked to him, which I'm not convinced of. But Conrad's been on the board, I guess, of directors since 2017. He was the chief product officer at the short-lived Quibi service. I don't know if you guys remember that, the little small episode thing for your phone. I don't know, it was out for a bit, and then he's been in since Patrick Spence was let go. I guess it's after May, so Patrick Spence is officially gone, and now Tom Conrad gets to step in, so that makes sense. And he's there working on the app. He's there making sure that everybody gets the app right. Have you guys noticed a difference? I haven't really noticed any difference.
I still have to use a third-party app. And, honestly, the Sonos stuff has gotten really bad when you go to a customer site and they are not tech savvy at all, and they are using a third-party Sonos app to control their Sonos. I went to a barber shop this week and they were having some Wi-Fi issues, so I upgraded their Wi-Fi. And I was, checking everything out on the computer, and they use the same third-party app I do. Click for Sonos, CLIC. Works great. It's a little ugly though. There's some nicer ones out now. But you know that you have fallen very far whenever you have somebody that's not tech inclined that is using third-party software to regularly control their stuff. So I hope at some point the app can get back to where it is, because it's still not. I still regularly use a third-party app because it just works every single time. So hopefully Tom can improve stuff over there. It's not very good right now.
And I'm not mad at this, giving him the job. I think since he came on board, he's been very vocal, very open. The changes have come. Change takes time, right? And he has done a lot of stuff. It feels like they kind of slowed down a bit. But I think he'll do a good job. I think he'll put them right in on the right path again.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, honestly, because I think Sonos is a good company. They have fallen quite a bit, but there's such a good product and good service there that it's hard not to be a little hopeful, at least.
And that's the thing about Sonos. I almost feel like they don't really have real competition. Every week you hear like, oh, here's the next Sonos killer. But then when you compare it, it's like, it's not even close, like what this new company offers.
Yeah.
So, I feel if they did have competition, things would move a lot faster. But hopefully can, like I said, put them on the right track.
I guess I paid for this Click app. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I haven't used it in a while. I probably should have been, because the other day I needed to make some changes, and the Sonos app wasn't having it, so it's not good right now.
There's a new one I'm using. It's only available as a test flight right now, but it's called Sonify, Sonify. It's a lot more attractive. You have a lot more options to control and stuff like that. So that's one I've been using recently. Would highly recommend it. This is what I want from a Sonos app, though. Like, I just want simplicity, right? Like, I think Sonos' problem is
this seems like it does the job, right? Like, there's not.
Yeah. They've been chasing external stuff for a little too long. I need simplicity. I need to open the app and just use my stuff immediately, and you can load all your BS in the background.
Right.
Just give me that. Nothing worse than sitting on your couch and you pull out your phone to control your speaker in the kitchen, and then it takes like a minute to like actually get there and everything.
Trying to figure out how this works. Yeah. You said it's not the most it's not the pretty one.
No.
Oh, it's got scenes.
Click is not pretty.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody mention another one called Sonos Sequencer.
Yeah.
I think they were saying with that one, you could add front surrounds to the Arc Ultra.
Yeah. So that one's been around for a while. You can reassign speakers to do different things that Sonos can't natively do. And you can also mix and match speakers. So like, let's say you have an Era 100 and Era 300. You can make them both surrounds, whereas normal Sonos you cannot. And honestly, I have the best recommendation for Sonos so that they can sell more speakers, and it's the ability to make separate left, right, and centers. They would sell so many more speakers. I don't see why it's so hard, especially if you have like a soundbar already. But let me buy 5 Era 300s. And tie them all to my TV.
It just can't be done.
Sell a little HDMI adapter that plugs into the eARC via USB-C to the speaker, and just sell way more speakers.
It just can't be done, TJ. I'm sorry. It's not.
Yeah, this third-party app can do it, but Sonos cannot.
Or even taking that, if they don't want to do it that way, like let the beam be the center and let you add 2 surrounds to that. I don't know what the reasoning is against this.
You know what I really want? I just want 5 Sonos Arc Ultras. I want left, center, and right. And then I want surrounds, and then 2 subs. I want a $7,000 Sonos theater system.
And not an app to control it.
That's right. And bring back the touch control, the little controller, the little docking thing, whatever.
CR100 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that thing was great. And people love those. Bring it back.
Yeah. Dedicated, so because it was so snappy and quick. That's all. Mm-hmm. Its only job in life was to control your music in your house, and boy, it did a great job of it. So, well, I went over to Chad and asked him to write us a song for to commemorate Tom Conrad becoming CEO. So, I'm not convinced that he's not a real person, but let's see what Chad came up with. Oh yeah, I did in K-pop because why not?
There's a new name lighting up the halls. Tom Conrad's face on the office walls. They say he's bold, they say he's slick, with a tattooed arm that's pretty sick. He came with flair, a mission loud and clear. Fix the app, restore the cheer. But whispers grew with every pose. Was it Tom or just a ghost? Oh, awesome Tom, the CEO star, with an ace tattoo and a getaway car. DJ said, hey, he answered my plea, but that chatbot wasn't fooling me. Tom's name was there, but the voice was wrong. That wasn't a human singing the song. He promised updates, fast and clean, your playlist back by version 16. The fans, they clapped, the tweets rolled in. TJ felt like he might just win. He poured out his soul in a heartfelt chat, and Tom replied, we're working on that. But every line felt far too neat, too fast, too kind, too obsolete. Oh, awesome Tom with silicone charm, but no real fingerprints on that alarm. TJ thought he found a man, but Siri's cousin ran the plan. A voice so smooth, so void of flaw. That wasn't Tom, it was Claude or Claude 2. Now somewhere out there, Tom's planning the fix. Maybe with devs, maybe in the mix. But until we see him squashing a bug, we'll wonder if we're just hugging a plug. Yeah, awesome Tom, AI or not, you got the keys to a boiling pot. Just show your face or type a typo, or spill your coffee on a keynote slide, bro. TJ's waiting, arms crossed and keen, for proof you're more than a well-trained machine. So here's to Tom, the legend or bot. Fix that app, give it all you've got. Tattoo and all, you're running the show. Whether carbon-based or just for show. Oh.
All right, there you go. You heard it here first. What other podcast do you listen to that writes beautiful music and lyrics for you and listens to like 50 versions of it to pick the right one?
All this work we put into Tom Conrad. He won't even message me back.
I know, right?
Help me fix my Sonos problems. He went away,
He's not real, that's why.
He's AI.
AI, yeah.
Now that he's official, you'll never hear from him again.
Exactly.
He probably blocked you, changed his number.
Honestly, he probably blocked me whenever I sent him the original song. He's like, look, I have a Sonos Ace tattoo, and this is cringe, guys. I thought the original one was really good, though. So
yeah, I did. The original is definitely
class,
a favorite. We'll put this on the show, so if you want to go listen to it or download it, put it into your mix, you can. Maybe we should put this on the Spotify there and like just start AI music. I think that's a thing right now. People are doing that, right? AI industry music for each week. We'll just make an episode.
Yeah, they recently did a study of that, and they found that most of the listeners to the AI music are actually AI bots too. It was kind of funny when I read that. So,
well. The AI is getting better. The funny story, I think I put it in our hub, was ChatGPT just casually going past the I'm not a robot test. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
We're in big trouble.
I mean, at least somebody can solve those, because sometimes I get them and I'm like, I don't know what this is. So if I could ask my AI to do it.
Is it a crosswalk? It looks like a driveway.
Is this actually a bus? I don't know. We don't have buses here.
There's a motorcycle and a boat. All right. Well, there you go. HomeTech exclusive, if you will. Yeah, that's what you get for your membership. Some awesome songs. Actually, we could be talking about this, like put something private up on there on the Patreon. We could put like all the other two versions of it, that of the 50 or 60 that I made, that were good enough to pass, and we could put those in there if you want them. So maybe we'll do that. Anyway, let's move on here. We've got a story from Ring. They are denying that any breach has happened of their systems following reports of suspicious logins to users' accounts. Customers have expressed concern over unauthorized logins to their accounts, prompting some to change their login credentials, as they should, enable two-factor authentication as a precaution. I thought Ring was requiring that at some point. I thought they were requiring two-factor. Is that... So this story is suspicious.
I thought they did, because every time I've logged into a Ring system, they text or email you a code.
Such a pain. Yeah.
Maybe it's like an old setting, like didn't get enabled or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Ring's saying that the login attempts are not due to leak from its systems, but likely a result of bad actors using credentials obtained from other breaches on the internet. Maybe what they were getting were those, kind of like with Ring, like, oh, you're trying to log into your system. Mm-hmm. Are you sure? You get a little notice or something like that. Yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, lesson learned here, don't use passwords that you actually know. Go get a password manager, set that up. Use passkeys. Passkeys are getting better. Don't use passkeys. Just get a password manager for now. And then when passkeys are good, use passkeys because they're almost good enough. Soon they'll be good enough. Bankrupt. Here's Future Home. It's a once prominent smart home tech company has recently filed for bankruptcy, and it's announced a surprise shift in its business model, converting its smart home hubs to require a subscription service. Existing users were informed that to continue using their current devices, they would just need to enroll in a monthly subscription plan. It's that easy, guys. But I don't know. I guess in my opinion, says it's going to cost around $10 a month. Many users express frustration, as they would, but I don't know. It's one of those things like the company's going to go out of business. Either it goes out of business and then you have no option and no working stuff, or you pay $10. I don't know. What would you do?
This reminds me, what's that company that went out of business a while ago? It wasn't Brilliant. It was like a legacy home automation company. I'm going to kick myself as soon as I think of this. Not Leviton.
Insteon?
Insteon, that's what it was. So Insteon is a similar thing where they went out of business, right? They went bankrupt, and then they came back and they're like, hey, if you want to keep using this, we're going to need some money. And a lot of people were all right with it. They're just like, hey, this sucks, but we almost lost all of our stuff and we have a lot of money invested into this. And so I'm just going to pay the money to keep using it. This is probably a similar play. I've personally never heard of this company.
Well, it's an overseas company, so it doesn't really exist over here. So that's why.
Yeah.
It's going to require the core features are going to require 1,188 NOK, which is it's a different thing. It's about 160.
It's Norwegian money.
Norwegian krona or whatever. I don't remember. But yeah, it's $116.56 annual subscription. So.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how many devices you have, $10 a month is not bad.
Yeah.
It is aggravating, though, especially when you had to pay for the hub, which is $275. So that is a lot to swallow.
They claim to be in 38,000 households. So not a giant of the home automation, but it seems like at least in the areas that it was in, it was probably well liked. Probably had some good solutions.
I say at that point, you just go with a different solution, right? Because it's not like if you were only in 38,000 households, you probably did not have that many devices per household. And so if you have like 5 or 10 devices, go ahead and just get into a new platform. Choose something like Home Assistant or Habitat or something else where you don't have to worry about this cloud dependency.
And this is a sign, like, even if you pay it, who knows how much further down the road before they finally say, all right, we're done. We can't handle it anymore. I was trying to figure out, like, do they have proprietary hardware? But they say their products use open standards such as Inocean, Z-Wave, and Zigbee. So if that's the case, then start looking at another hub to get into something that's not going to cost you a monthly subscription that is going to be around longer than this will probably be.
Looks like they had EV charging, sockets, relays for lighting, smart heating, fire alarms, and a few other accessories for sale. And yeah, I don't know. This might be an opportunity, like you guys are saying. It's time to move on. Clearly, if the company's going bankrupt and they're having to change to the $10 a month to keep their servers running, it's probably a good time to start looking somewhere else. I wouldn't say like you have to cut this off. I mean, if they're promising that it's going to work for $10 a month, pay the $10 and then start moving stuff off over to something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
Looks like they have just their standard Zigbee. These look like there's Zigbee 3.0 standard Zigbee dimmers, so that could be helpful. I don't know about the EV charging, but they support other products. Looks like it was for electricians in Norway.
Oh, yeah. So it's even worse then. I don't know how other countries are with that kind of stuff, but whenever a contractor here recommends an automation system, it's like, oof.
Yeah. Yep. They have thermostats too, looks like. All right. Well, a bunch of cool things. They have some puck dimmers that you can replace with Shelly. So yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but if you've got a big investment, yeah, probably pay the $10 to get everything up and going and then gradually move over to something else. Might be a good idea.
But just keep in mind that paying that $10 doesn't mean this is still going to be here next year, right? Like they need enough people to pay that $10 for it to now be sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they don't have to answer the phone; they just keep the server on, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens to them. Maybe they go into bankruptcy and they'll be able to fix whatever they had go wrong, and the $10 a month is all they needed. Like they were just dying from server tax because that does add up. I mean, honestly. You sell like a product 10 years ago and you're still hanging on like to old server infrastructure. There were servers that I had to deal with. I was like, I've got to upgrade these things or they are just going to fall off and stop working one day. Amazon's going to call me up and like, hey, we got to take this thing out back and shoot it. Like it's time for it to go. And yeah, like it didn't take long. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It happened to Future Home. So there you go. And then big news over to Car. The LED bulb T2 RGB now supports adaptive lighting through Matter protocol, and it's a feature they posted over on their Car forum, and you can go check that out if you have a T2 RGB LED bulb, and you want to have adaptive lighting through Matter. This is a big news day for you, so go check that out. I'm assuming it's a free upgrade because it's a Car. Yeah, sounds good. Anyway,
yeah, I like anything with adaptive lighting. I think that's such a big advancement for smart lighting. Honestly, use it all the time.
Yep. It's nice. It's kind of nice. I'm leaning towards the warm dim these days, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. I have a project that I was in the middle of.
Oh,
yeah. All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over on our show notes at HomeTech.fm/537. All right. We're interviewing people. And who do we interview? We interviewed friend of the show, Jimmy Hawkins. Yeah, Jimmy sat down with us, had a great conversation, and I'm just going to play it out here and then see you on the other side. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me on with the three of you.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. This is we're starting to get back into the interview here somehow. I don't know. TJ's pushing it. TJ's the scheduler. So he's on the ball, like getting people in, and it's been a while. So
he's pretty good at it too. I just give him names and he goes after them.
I know he's just
and most of the time it works out, And now it feels even more official though. Jimmy's actually the first one to use it. We actually have a calendar, so people can go on there, look at the calendar, and book a time that works for them. It did not work. 100% perfectly for Jimmy, but I mean,
it felt professional. It was like you guys know what you're doing, so that's always been good.
Yeah, I got jealous of the Home Assistant podcast. I was on there. It's releasing next month. Don't tell anybody. But it was super nice. They sent you a link and you go in there and you schedule it. You upload your headshot, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was like, man, we suck at this. We need to do something a little better.
They are fancy over there.
Hey, yeah. They do things fast. All right. Well, let's not talk about us. Let's talk about Jimmy. Jimmy, I know you from the internet and seeing your well, I don't know. I think you've been involved with our show longer than you've been doing the social media stuff. But I assume that you got into home automation like the rest of us did, just by wanting to torture your family.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It actually began for me when, let's see, this would have been 2015 when we were still in Denver. We moved into a new Lennar build. So Lennar, I think they were a big home builder in the U.S. And we had moved into a new build by them. And we were on our final walkthrough through the house, and the manager or whatever was like, oh, yeah, by the way, supposedly this thermostat is smart, and so is this lock here. I don't know anything about it though, and I was like, "Well, that's interesting." So I was like,
selling it.
They knew nothing. It really was amazing. And so I, took a picture and kind of went home and looked into it. And really, prior to that point, my only experience with anything smart home related was like a generic IP camera we were using in like our son's room at the time when he was a baby, as like a baby monitor. So come to find out, after I looked it up, it was a Schlage Z-Wave lock and a Train Z-Wave thermostat. And so we move in and the dust kind of settles down. And I was like, okay, well, at that point I knew, okay, I need like a hub for these in order to use them. And the house did not come with it. So I go to the sales office. I'm like, hey, was my house supposed to come with a hub of some sort for this lock and thermostat? And the sales manager like rummages through some boxes and is like, oh yeah, we have one back here, let me get it for you. And he gives it to me, and so I take it and go home and set it up. And it worked through Nexia at the time, is what they were using. And I don't know how Nexia has grown over the years, but at the time it was very basic. It was like you could program codes into the lock, you could like set a schedule for the thermostat, you could maybe do automations based off of time, but that was about it. And so, from there, I was like, okay, this looks interesting. Let me see, what else is out there. And in 2015, your options were like Staples Connect, Wink, Smart Things, and that was pretty much it. I think, of course, Home Assistant was around, but it was, for the super nerds back then. And so it was right around then that Smart Things was launching their V2 hub. I was like, so let me go to Smart Things. Got that set up, and from there it just kind of spiraled out of control. I'm adding light switches and sensors and everything else, and next thing you know, I have a few hundred devices, and I got really deep into the Smart Things environment, and they have a pretty active community. And I started like a Twitter channel and stuff for like updates and things about Smart Things. They don't really have like it's not like HomeKit users where they have like a really dedicated fan base with podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff like that. So I started a Twitter channel, and that's kind of where I got on the internet. And you guys probably saw me on Twitter or something. And then I did some blog posts for Richard over at Digital Media Zone on Smart Things updates, and I went out to their developer conference in 2018, I think, and did a post on there. So yeah, and then from there, it kind of everybody went to lockdown during COVID, and everybody got on TikTok. And I was like, well, this is, fun watching videos on TikTok, but I can't dance or tell jokes or anything like that. But I had this smart home, so might as well start, posting some videos about our smart home. And yeah, it kind of took off from there.
Nice. Yeah, I think you were probably involved with our community too before. I mean, back in that Denver, I think I remember you talking about that before too. So like the Nexia home and everything.
Yeah, I actually went to Cedia 2019, maybe, and I might have met you there.
Maybe, yeah.
Back, you and Jason, I think, when you hosted the happy hour. It was probably very brief, and it was, of course, there's lots of people there. But yeah, so from there, I met you guys, and then I've been in the hub for a while now. So
yeah. Is your TikTok and YouTube taking over your full-time job, or is this like just a part-time thing? Like you have a real jobby job, or is you get to have fun all day playing with smart home stuff?
Unfortunately, it is not my full-time job. I still have a full-time job, also working in IT, doing SAP configuration for the nerds out there that know their ERP systems. So this is not my full-time job. And it kind of at this point, I don't know. Maybe in the future it will be at some point. I guess I'm blessed that, my full-time job, pays decently. So in order to go full-time on TikTok or YouTube, I would probably have to get several 100,000 more followers in order to do that. But that also means I can kind of make my own schedule of when I post videos. So I don't have to like get into this grind of I have to post every week and, I'm going to start, losing followers and worry about metrics and things like that.
Yeah.
I can still kind of take my time. So like my wife has a really busy job with traveling. She's out in LA right now, doing real estate stuff and networking and building her company. So, when I'm home and weeks like this where I have the kids to take care of and, normal kind of household stuff to do, I don't have to worry about, staying up till 2 a.m. and making a video. So it's a little bit more balanced being part-time, I'd say.
Yeah, real briefly, my wife had when COVID hit, we got she started kind of a business on her own at the same time, around the same time, I guess. And we the whole social media, like the Instagram side of it, it was basically an Instagram business essentially. But man, that grind is not fun. I mean, having to create and publish a video, it has to have so many hashtags in it. You do all this research. There's software apps that are algorithmically, you can figure out what hashtags people are following and based on what you're trying to sell. Wow, man, what a grind. That's tough.
It is. At this point, I don't make $0 off of my social media. I make a little bit, but really that money just goes straight into buying other smart home stuff. So it kind of
it's kind of like the podcast here. It's it just goes to paying for the website and the hosting and
feed the and somehow,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it does give me the ability to do things like go to CES and be like, it's a write-off. I'm going to CES.
Yeah.
but then it just means I break even instead of making a profit. So,
right.
Yeah. I also started off on Twitter when I first got in the automation space. So, I got my start doing professional stuff. And one of the first things I did was create a Twitter account. So I could, retweet other people's stuff and just share knowledge and stuff as I was learning in the space. What has been the biggest change in social media since you started with the original Twitter account and the Samsung Smart Things? Obviously, we've gone more towards video and everything like that. But what else have you noticed in the space?
Obviously, the platforms are shifting. It seems like every 2 or 3 years that one platform gets hot and another kind of go down. We think we've all seen it with Twitter X, whatever it's called now, where there's this mass exodus at one point, everybody finding Mastodon or Threads or wherever everybody kind of split off and went, which I guess, that's from the whatever, I don't know what kind of social media you call that on those kind of short form posting platforms or whatever. And then from the video side, obviously I hit TikTok at probably just the right time where it was gaining, followers were going or people were getting onto it and they were growing, which helped my account grow. And things have kind of stabilized since then, probably for the better. But, specifically on the TikTok side, they've shifted real hard into, pushing their sales platform, TikTok Shop. So you have, of course, if you've been on there, it's like every other video you scroll past now is some kind of sales pitch for some kind of product. And you got lives going all the time, which, from a user standpoint, I don't know if that's good or bad. From a creator standpoint, it's interesting. So it's, for the listeners out there, if you're not familiar with the money side of being a social media creator, whenever you click an affiliate link, which you guys probably use on your podcast too, if it goes like Amazon, it's like a 1% to 4% bounce back to you guys. On TikTok Shop, it's like minimum 5% up to like 20%.
Wow.
So from a creator perspective, it's very attractive, and it's very easy for like somebody watching your videos just to click right there and go in, and the conversion is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's attractive, but it's also annoying as a user of TikTok to have to scroll past those videos all the time. So that's a little interesting from that perspective. And there are some big, like from the smart home side, it started out kind of small from brand wise, but it's grown. I mean, you have brands like Tapo's on there, Rio Link's on there, Wise is on there. who else from a smart home perspective? Govee is on there. So you have some bigger brands that are on TikTok now that are looking to push their shop. And I'm not sure from their side if there's some incentives, but it's interesting seeing the evolution of TikTok itself. So
if you were to start over today, would you go straight to TikTok? Would you go to YouTube? Kind of what would be your approach today?
Probably, I would not go straight to TikTok. In fact, for myself, even back before this whole TikTok ban thing came up, which is still kind of hanging over my head, I was kind of like, I kind of saw the way TikTok was going towards, pushing their shop stuff. And I was like, I really need to start diversifying a little bit. So I started filming horizontal, big change, instead of vertical, and started making more long form and going towards YouTube. And luckily, kind of around the same time, all three platforms, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, now for their short form stuff are now allowing up to 3-minute videos. So that makes it really easy to cross post stuff. So what I've found is I'll make, if it's a subject that, that can support like a longer form video, in which I kind of consider my stuff on there on YouTube kind of medium form, because I really max out around 10 minutes. I think that fits my attention span, at least on a certain topic. I can take a 10-minute video, for example, and I can break it up into 2 or 3 short form videos. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck as far as your time, the hours you spend editing a video. You can get 1 long form out of it and 2 or 3 short form. So that's kind of what I'm doing personally. But if I was starting out, I'd probably just go kind of do the same thing. Start with long form video and then cut it up into short forms to post across all 3 channels.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always find it very hard to make shorter videos because there's just so much stuff you want to talk about, and I think it's a completely different mindset. Obviously, you can make stuff that's way too long, and nobody's going to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But that 5 to 10 minute mark seems like it's kind of the perfect area there.
I also hear making just a 10-minute video takes you like 8 hours of work sometimes. Like,
oh yeah, it does. Like in fact, some of the bigger channels, they hire out the editing part, which I could easily understand because it's a grind, taking all your B-roll and A-roll and getting it cut up. And so I could totally, if I had the flow from the social media side that would support hiring out editing, 100% I would do it.
Yeah, same.
But for me, yeah, you understand. So, yeah. So I get it, but yeah, it takes some videos could take, like I see 8 hours easy. Yeah.
What does the family think about your social media posts? Like, does your wife laugh every time she sees one, or she may be in one, or something?
The whole thing cracks her up when when my back in 2020, 2021 when my TikTok was taken off, she just found it hilarious. She's like, of all the people to be an influencer in the world, somehow Jimmy became the influencer in our family. And how that worked out, we'll never understand. But here we are, and she likes it. She for her business is on the real estate side. So we did a little bit of a series on top smart home devices for homeowners that we kind of cross posted between our 2 platforms. But yeah, it cracks them up. The whole the social media side one, and also the smart home stuff in general. I'm sure your families understand what goes along with, setting up different devices and testing them and things like that. So
that's kind of funny. I think we all are in similar situations where they just, my wife she's like, oh, Gavin and his toys, and just leaves me alone, right? And the only thing she ever asks is how much did that cost, which never gets the right answer, but that's
you don't get the text like, hey, can you turn off this light for me? I'm like, you have the app on your phone. But
No. She's pretty good at utilizing it to do it on her own now. So she knows to ask it for temperature and the pool and all that fun stuff. So
that's nice.
I don't have to support her as much.
I mean, he's got a good setup in his system, unlike me, who has, my wife goes, can you finally get this TV? Like, we just want to play video games on it, and I've got 2 remotes hooked to it, because of course I do.
Of course.
And I spent like 3 hours trying to get the stupid IP control working. Turns out this LG TV I have doesn't do IP control, even though it looks like it does. I was like, all right, well, forget that. I'll do serial. And guess what? Serial, it just whatever, it didn't work. It's an old LG TV. It just doesn't want to do anything but IR. And I'm like stubborn and didn't want to hook up IR. The TV still doesn't work. Still can't control it. And go play video games.
Yeah, the phrase the cobbler's children have no shoes.
Exactly.
My wife has become very familiar with that phrase because most of our stuff works. I've tried to build all of our stuff in with manual controls, so that way if the automation stuff doesn't work, but sometimes it's technology, it doesn't work exactly how you want to.
Yeah.
So she'll go around on all these networking events and stuff like that, and be like, oh yeah, our entire house is automated, and like a quarter of it doesn't work. You shouldn't tell people that we run an automation company.
Yeah.
It's not good business.
It's not good business.
All right, moving on to more tech talk here. So right now, what's your main hub of choice?
Yeah, so Smart Things lasted me a while. I used it 8 years, I guess, from 2015 to a couple of years ago. About 2022 is when we moved from Denver to Atlanta. And that move kind of corresponded nicely with Home Assistant releasing their Home Assistant Yellow. And kind of over the years, Home Assistant had always kind of been in the back of my mind as a platform to look into. But, it was always one of those things where, so I would consider myself a power user, but I don't do any coding. I don't want to get in there and code or anything like that. And so I was always waiting for the moment where they would make it so it was a plug and play solution and similar to like a Smart Things hub, you could just plug in a hub and go. And so when Home Assistant Yellow came out, I was like, okay, this looks like a good plug and play solution that I could literally just set up from my phone and get it up and running. So I ordered the Home Assistant Yellow, got it going, and I'd say I sat there and kind of tinkered with it for several months. It did deliver on the out of the box experience. It plugged it in and fired up the app, and I was up and running. And it discovered Philips Hue and my Samsung TVs and my printer of all things on my network. So it was very easy to get started. And then I hit the point of, okay, now how am I going to transition these hundreds of devices over? So I started with just integrating Smart Things to Home Assistant, and then eventually kind of went room by room, moving my Z-Wave and Zigbee devices from Smart Things to Home Assistant. And as of, I'd say probably 2 years ago, I've fully moved over everything from Smart Things to Home Assistant. So we are now a Home Assistant household.
That's you testing like all sorts of stuff though. Like when you're talking about things, like it's like you must have little small setups for like.
I do, yeah. So my channel is not specific to Home Assistant. I try to keep it very generic. I don't know if there's a particular reason for that. If anything, of wanting to appeal to a wider audience.
It's helpful, I think. Like because I'm like you kind of like can go over. With that ability, like you have the ability to like cover like, oh, it works with this really well, and here are the shortcomings. Like I see you say that's. I mean, I think that's helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, so I have Apple Home fully set up and running. I have, of course, Home Assistant. I still have a Smart Things station set up, which is kind of one of their versions of their hubs. And of course, I always have Amazon's as my voice assistant, so I have that available for any testing I want to do with them too. So I kind of keep abreast of all the different systems out there and kind of keep up to date with them in order to kind of stay knowledgeable and post on the channel. If you're using this, here's how it works. If you're using this, here's how it works, and things like that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you have Amazon. You use Amazon for your voice assistant, right?
Yep.
What is the main driving factor? I know why I prefer that, but why do you prefer that?
I feel like it's the most robust when it comes to smart home support. And I don't know, that's from a voice assistant perspective more than it is from a hardware perspective. So, they have all the different Echo shows out there. You have all the different regular Echo speaker devices. So there's really they have hardware available to fit really any situation. So like, of course, you guys can see that there's like an Echo Show back here. This is like the original Echo Show. So we had this in our kitchen and ended up replacing it with an Echo Show 21 because we wanted the Echo Show experience, but we also wanted a TV in the kitchen. And so like you can't find that on any other on any other platform out there. So that was a good case to use them. And then come like the speakers and stuff, like they iterate on their hardware a lot more than Google does. I don't know when the last time Google came out with a new speaker was.
Yep.
So I think we all agree it's risky going with Google because you never know when it's going to get canceled or canned. So that was probably another factor. I do have I have one Home Assistant voice preview edition that I've been kind of tinkering with. I know they've put some updates in the past couple. I still need to test that a little bit more. Yeah, I would say if they ever come out with like a full blown Echo version that has like an actual good speaker in it and things like that, I might lean towards using that a little bit more. But I still don't know if it has really the ad hoc kind of question support that Amazon ecosystem has now. So
are you cool enough to have the cool Amazon? Have you gotten it yet? Have you gotten the cool Alexa?
Yeah, Amazon Plus, Alexa Plus.
No, I have not.
It's furthering my theory that they've just banned all like home enthusiasts.
I think you're onto that. I think they're like, all right,
anybody above like 20 devices, you're banned.
We know this sucks, so we're keeping it away from anybody that has a lot of these devices, and especially all these people that post on social media. We are keeping it away from them. Because I was over at our friend's house the other day, and they kind of tinker with Amazon. And I look at their Echo Show in the kitchen. I'm like, oh man, you have Alexa Plus now. He's like, huh? What's that? I was like, you didn't notice your Echo Show? They have an Echo Show 15, just like this one. They're like, you didn't notice the whole UI changed on it? He was like, oh yeah, I guess it did.
Look at that. I feel like there's a Venn diagram of like people who know about Amazon Alexa Plus and people who have it in those circles like don't actually touch, like they don't exist.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it because if from anything, I think the new UI on the bigger Echo Shows looks really nice. So I'm looking forward to getting it eventually. So Amazon, if you're listening, like, come on, hook a brother up.
Send it on over.
Just send it on over. I'll be nice. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully it's just you could talk to it better. Like when you want to control devices, I don't have to be as like formal with my requests. It's like whether I call it blinds or shades, you'll know what I mean, right?
Right. Yeah, that'd be good.
We will see. So I'm curious because, when when I was at the Home Assistant meetup, everyone like was asking me, oh, you must have an amazing setup, so many devices, I want to see your dashboards. And yeah, they were right. But how many devices do you have? I'm curious.
Let's see what it says. I think last time I looked, I was close to 300. Now it's kind of hard to tell too, because especially with Home Assistant, it pulls in, like I said, your printers, and I have all these like random beacon devices that are on there that I actually don't even know what the hell they are.
I usually disable all those because it just adds noise.
Yeah, I probably should. I kind of just leave them in the background and don't do anything with them. But yeah, I'm at 393, so close to 400 now devices and 3198 entities, so almost a little over 3,000 entities. But yeah, like I said, some of those, we got, let's see, iBeacon trackers. I don't even know what those are, but I have 23 of them somehow.
Air tags and stuff like that.
There's a Wise and a Tile device on here, but they never update. So, but yeah, you're right, Gavin. I probably should go in and clean things up, but that would probably take hours to clean all that up.
Yeah, just YOLO.
Save it for next spring. That's right.
Turn on the video out of it.
Turn on the new dashboard, and you won't have to worry about, after looking at areas, all that stuff's gone. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but to your point on like the dashboards and stuff, I keep my dashboard very basic. So I maybe only use one or two custom cards, but otherwise I use kind of the standard. What's the new one where you can drag and drop stuff called?
Sections.
So yeah, I use a standard kind of sections dashboard along with their kind of their tile cards for most of the stuff. And they've put a lot of work into keeping the dashboards updated. And in fact, I think I made a video on it when I first switched over to Home Assistant. I was like, I got to the point of setting up my Home Assistant Yellow, getting it going, and then the default dashboard is absolutely terrible. It just like dumps all your stuff onto one dashboard. And in a house like ours where you have hundreds of devices, it's just like an endless scrolling nightmare. And so this new experimental areas dashboard that they've been iterating on the past few releases I think is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
From that perspective of getting a default dashboard going. Now it's no hot dog stand or anything like that, but it's a good
They're trying.
up-to-date UI. Yeah.
Well, it takes time, and you can see the iterations as they go along, and eventually we'll get there. And yeah, I was like you, where I created a bunch of dashboards. I did a lot of custom cards and this and that, but I just found over time, one update for a card could just break all your dashboards.
Yep.
So I've tried to make things more like using the internal built stuff and just make it basic again.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I think the one thing about Home Assistant that I tell everybody is they like talking to Paulus the past couple of years at CES. He has to be the most self-aware, like smart home leader, because he fully understands like the position that Home Assistant like traditionally has been like for super nerds and things like that. But in order to get it like a bigger audience, you're gonna have to appeal to the basic users. And I think they're taking all the correct steps to solve those problems with it, taking hours to create a dashboard or making the UI for the automation engine better. So they're doing a lot of things, and that you can see it too from the what I call the business side of Nabokasa, with coming out with Home Assistant Yellow and the Zigbee stick and things like that. They're making it so you can go straight to them, get something plug and play and be up and running. So I'll be very curious to see 2 to 5 years from now if we're able to like tell our parents like, hey, if you're looking for a smart home solution, you can just skip over Amazon and go to Home Assistant, and we'll see 2 to 5 years from now if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, once they add that easy and hard mode toggle, I'll be all in on that.
There you go.
I think that's what's honestly missing. They need a nerd mode and a non-nerd mode, basically. Just give me basic stuff. And honestly, the Home Assistant Yellow, I set one of those up because Seth sent it to me for Home Assistant Community Day.
Yeah.
It was super easy to use. It was a nice little package. Honestly, it was very nice.
Yeah.
And I could easily see that as a consumer device.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple fun questions here.
All right.
If you had to pick one, what would be your favorite smart home product, and what is a product you would not recommend?
Oh, okay. Favorite product, I would say it's really more, I guess, a category of products. Is I think, looking at it from the 1,000-foot level, where a smart home is supposed to save you time and make your life easier, I think robot vacuums are my favorite smart home products, because just from set it out to vacuum and mop. Like I think maybe we take out the old fashioned vacuum maybe once a month now to do a real deep vacuum on our rugs. But other than that, we let our robot vacuums and mops kind of do their thing. So I think that's my favorite device. And I've tested several over the years, and they're all they all can do 90% of what you need done, and like for less than like $500, I'd say at this point. When you get to those $1,000 robot vacuums, you're really only adding like marginal kind of niche cases, I'd say. But I'm going to go with that for my favorite. And then for one device I would not recommend. Oh man,
you've tested a lot of things. That's got to be pretty hard to.
There's got to be one that sticks out though. That you're like, oh man, I wouldn't even give this to somebody I don't like.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've ever like. There's been stuff I've tested and like removed just because I wanted to like make things more uniform.
I guess what's your least favorite like robot vacuums? That's your most favorite type of product. What about a type? Like what would you not say like? Oh, as far as like getting into the smart home, probably should look the other way if you want to get this. What would you say?
Light bulb cameras.
Ha! Thank you.
Yes. Light bulb cameras. I think we've talked about this in the hub a good bit, but they have got to be like, I get the appeal that it's like an easy like plug and play solution, but you have to take into mind aesthetics at some point when you're setting up all this stuff. And I have never seen a good looking light bulb camera, so I'm going to go with a light bulb camera.
I think if you're worried about aesthetics, you wouldn't choose a light bulb camera anyway.
No. Yeah.
This is the best interview so far.
Yeah.
You got any crazy predictions for what's going on in the smart home industry kind of in the near future? Anything that you see like with the tea leaves that you can read, where things are headed?
So yeah, based off of CES this year, it looks like this is the year of pool robots, I would say, and robot mowers. They seem to be, they're kind of following the same, both of those are kind of following the same path as robot vacuums, it seems like, where you had kind of one or two companies that kind of were innovating in the space, and then all of a sudden you look up and you got 20 companies that are kind of taking the learnings from those first two and iterating on it, which is good. I mean, I'm testing a robot mower now that I would say it's not perfect, but it, as far as kind of going back to saving time and money, that it's certainly better than me being out there when it's 90 degrees on a hot Georgia day, having to go out there and mow. So that's one area I think is coming up. I'm quickly switching to be pro Matter at this point. Obviously Matter is the big topic. Everybody poo-poos on it for I would say for good reasons. In the beginning it was rough, but what I'm finding, and especially specifically with Matter over Thread devices, is kind of really caught my interest lately. I'm finding the more I add Matter over Thread to my home, the more stable it is. So I don't know if that speaks to, I mean, my house is probably a disaster of frequency interferences on the 2.4 gigahertz. I think I have 5 Zigbee networks alone. But yeah, I'm actually been pretty impressed lately with some of these Matter devices. And I recently posted a video where it seems like they're actually getting to the point where you're finding more complex devices. So you got things like sensors and buttons combined, and you're getting things you can get 3 or 4 different sensors in one device instead of just like a door sensor or a motion sensor. So I'd be very curious over the next 2 to 5 years where Matter goes. I think they're on a good track, and they're kind of going from the working bugs out to delivering enhancements. So I'll be curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, I could see that, because when it first was launched, it was all Matter over Wi-Fi, and it was basically just retrofitting existing devices with Matter, and it wasn't always the best transition.
Yeah.
Now that we're seeing more Matter over Thread devices, I do think that's actually going to get better.
Yeah, and I feel like the Matter over Wi-Fi side, it hit the problems that any Wi-Fi devices have. Like some companies just suck at keeping their devices online connected to your Wi-Fi. Like there was I think I had a Govee product at one point that it would not stay connected to Wi-Fi no matter what I did, and it supported Matter, but it also didn't connect to their app. And I finally just had to totally reset it, and from there it worked fine. So I think a lot of what people are running into with the Matter over Wi-Fi stuff is that some companies just suck at keeping their devices stable and online. So
yeah, and for the most part, like, sensors don't need to be Wi-Fi sensors. I mean, the lower the systems that work really well for that are Zigbee Z-Wave or I guess Matter
and Thread
can encompass both of those. Thread, yeah.
Well, I have a feeling if you can enjoy Matter, you can also enjoy light bulb camera bulbs.
No,
light bulb cameras. No,
absolutely not.
Hand in hand. What if they came out with a Matter one? Would you buy it?
Well, remember, Matter doesn't support cameras at this point, so impossible right now.
Turn the light on.
I mean, that's not going to stop them from doing it.
Oh yeah. I am looking. I'm very curious. They keep saying that they're going to add cameras to Matter. I don't know if it'll be version 2.0 or what, but I'll be very curious to see what standard they go with for Matter cameras, if they pick OnVIF or something like that. So
WebRTC, I bet. That seems to be
everybody's pretty hot.
Yeah, it kind of works really well, and you can, like what we're using today, WebRTC, and like there's no software for this; it just runs in the browser. It's pretty amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of the back end of many other things that are out there, but yeah, it just works, and that's a big part of the home.
Kind of, yeah.
It's got to work.
Yeah.
So
it is important.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jimmy, I guess we're gonna kind of start wrapping up things here. Are you heading to CES 2026?
Yes, I plan to be there, assuming TikTok doesn't get shut down, which is how I qualify to go as media. I'll be there.
Oh. That's
so. Yep, I'll be there, and hopefully finally get to meet you guys in person, and we'll have a lot of events. It's awesome going to CES from a networking side of just people like us hanging out and getting to meet each other. It's a good time, and of course, networking all the brands and learning learning what's new and hot. So I'll be there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Well, we'll see you then, but we'll talk in between now and then because you're over in the hub all the time. So
I am in the hub. Yeah.
Thanks for being there.
Yep.
Well, Jimmy, thanks so much for your time. We really do appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. Where we talked about this a little bit, but like, where can people find you on TikTok and everywhere else? Where can they find you?
Yeah. So everywhere Automated House. That's automated_house. So that's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads, I'd say, is at this point. You can find me there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks so much.
Yep.
All right. That's the interview with Jimmy. Thanks so much, Jimmy, for coming on. We really enjoyed speaking with you and catching up with you. I think it's great. It sounded like he's going to be at CES too, right?
Yeah, he's one giving me information about CES because I don't know how many times he's been, but he at least went last year. And so he knows the stuff to do. So he's been helping us out a lot with that. So I appreciate that, Jimmy.
He's enabling you, I think. That's what.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
We've made him spend money over the years, I'm sure. So now he's helping us spend money.
He's like, here's an Airbnb in Vegas. Here's a flight. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you back on one of these days. All right. We got a mailbag. There's a listener question from Riley. This was sent over to Gavin. Gavin is a service, and we've captured it there. Gavin, you wanna cover this? I think you got some notes here. So.
Yeah, I had some notes, and I didn't really answer them yet as to anything specific. I wanted to get more feedback from you guys. But basically, he's moving into a new house. He's got no smart home. He's not a techie person, but he wants pot lights, right? He's putting in pot lights. He wants pot lights that he can control the color and the temperature with from the wall switch or a paddle or whatever, right? So I didn't know what to suggest at this point, right? Because I just know the on-off switch. That's all I really deal with. I don't know if you could think of anything that you would recommend in this situation for him.
So I have two recommendations, and they both involve Philips Hue, because Philips Hue for me is the best smart lighting product out right now. It's a premium. You're going to pay a little bit more for it. Honestly, though, their down lights or can lights are not as expensive as their other products are. You can buy like a 4-pack of 6-inch can lights for like $175. I think we talked about them last week on the show with another mailbag request.
Yep.
So basically $50 per light. I got mine on like sale at like Lowe's and on eBay and stuff like that. So I paid, $25 to $30 per light typically. What I would do if you're not tech savvy is I would install the Philips Hue bulbs, whatever ones you want, get the little hub. And then I would also get the Philips Hue dimmer switch. It's a little wireless switch, and either blank off your existing light switch, which I think would be the best, or just put the Philips Hue dimmer next to it. If you blank off your light switch, you can just put a blank plate on it and then put the Philips Hue dimmer directly on top of the blank plate. And that way you have to use the Philips Hue dimmer. And then that gives you flexibility in the future that if you become a little more tech savvy, maybe you just have more time you can spend on home automation stuff. You could always go with Innovelli Blue Series switches and do Zigbee binding. And that way you have like normal light switches that dim and everything like that, but you're not going to get the color changing without some sort of automation. I think with the Philips Hue dimmer, you can get the color changing through the Philips Hue app. So that would be my recommendation.
With the whole Philips Hue solution too, it requires the Philips Hue hub, you said, right?
Yeah, if you're going to do it without like Home Assistant, right? So like my house, we have Philips Hue in every single room, but we're not using the Philips Hue hub.
Yeah.
But that's because I tied it in directly via Zigbee to Home Assistant.
Okay.
So I don't need the hub for that. The hub is easier though if you want to do like the light patterns and stuff like that. For my house, we have some RGB bulbs, but I don't care about like changing my lights to red and stuff like that. I just want them for the white tunable. And so that was not a consideration for me, even though some of them do have that capability.
And I like the Philips Hue suggestion because I think they have a lot more than just those bulbs. They have, I think, behind the TV stuff, and
yeah, it's kind of like the Sonos argument, right? It's like every time somebody comes out with a Sonos thing, it's like this is a Sonos killer, and it's like because it's an amplifier. But the thing with Philips Hue is that they make a ton of different bulbs and products, and so if you're not tech savvy or you don't want to spend a lot of time on this stuff, having one ecosystem that literally integrates with everything is your best bet. And Philips Hue is that best bet because they do just have everything.
Good suggestion.
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be my suggestion. Just bite the bullet, do the Philips Hue. They already offer the products that will make this work for you.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go too. I was trying to think of other ways to get around this. The only thing I would say is that maybe, I don't know, like if you really wanted to spend more money, but not have the features that you want, look into some of the warm dim LEDs that are out there, rather than doing the tunable lights. You kind of get the same experience out of it as you just dim the light down in the evening and you get the warmer tones. And the light typically is a little bit better out of them. So Philips Hue, I think the CRI on that is like, hey, it tops out at 90. So it's like between 80 and 90 for those, which isn't terrible, but it's not great. And if you find, like, you can find these warm dim lamps they'll have something with like 90 plus, 92 plus. You'll get some really good light out of them. So that's my only suggestion, but it's going to cost you more, I think, than a Philips Hue to do that.
Oh, here's a good suggestion. He was very big on wanting to change colors.
Okay.
I guess when the ladies are over or something. I don't know.
That's what he said? All right. Then
I don't know.
Don't listen to me then. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, he's very big on it. So, I mean, maybe we could pair it with a smart button or something like that to do things. I'll get him started and then let him go and expand and play.
All right.
And then I charge him a subscription service so I can go back and fix it when he breaks it,
I just looked again, and for Switch, if you're not going to go the super tech savvy route with like Zigbee binding and all the nerdy stuff that Gavin and I do, Philips Hue basically has 3 switch options, which I think is probably more than a lot of other companies. They have this little tap dial switch. It is $54.99, so a little expensive, but it's got a rotating bezel, and then it's got 4 individual buttons on there. So that one's pretty nice. It does not have rotating bezel. I made that up. So, but a 4 button scene controller. Basically, it's $54.99. They have a dimmer switch, which we just talked about a couple weeks ago. It's $31. This allows brightness control on and off, and then toggling scenes. And then also, Lutron Caseta makes what's called the Aurora smart bulb dimmer switch. And actually, in their suggestion here, they do tell you to go ahead and cap the wires together and then install this plate over there. And this one has the rotating bezel with a button on there. So you can easily go on and turn on and off the light and adjust the brightness by adjusting the bezel on it. And yeah, so you have a couple different switch options too, which is nice.
That is nice. Yeah.
Good recommendations.
Yeah. Solid. All right. Well, go spend some money. Come back and let us
know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah.
It's not my money, so let's go spend it.
As somebody who just bought a bunch of Philips Hue in the past couple of years, it is a lot of money, but it just works. It's reliable.
Yeah.
And that's what you want out of a smart home.
That's what you want out of smart lighting, actually.
Yeah, especially lighting, right? Because you don't want to walk in a room and be like, oh, why my light's not turning on?
Yep. Or, it happens here. Sometimes the control 4 system goes wonky and sideways, and because it's Zigbee. And every now and then you'll press the button and like nothing happens. You're like, oh, dang, what's going on? Is it crashed or whatever? And then you'll go press the button again and the light will come on and then it'll go off again. You're like, oh, no, stop it. So you get into this loop where you're pressing the button and expecting something to happen. And the command finally gets back to the light to turn on. And it's just been such a long delay that you're like turned off the light again. So it happened to me in the shower the other day. I was not happy about it. So let's move on here. We've got a pick of the week, and this I think this is Gavin's favorite pick of the week from the conversations we were having before the show. A tech enthusiast over on Reddit shared their project where they enhanced the Billy Bass fish with AI capabilities. That's right. They can have a real-time conversation with a fish on their wall. And if you're not familiar, I don't know how you wouldn't be familiar with the Billy Bass, because like literally everyone has it. And then anybody at all related to smart home eventually tries to automate this thing. I've seen so many Billy Bass projects over the years. Alexa tied into it, Siri tied into it. It's all over. Well, he's gone and tied in I think he's using the Home Assistant one, right, Gavin? It's the Home Assistant one?
Yes, the Home Assistant, voice assistant. Yep.
So he can do all sorts of stuff with this thing, and it, since it's Home Assistant, it's all open source. He tells you how to open up the fish and get started on here. So this is pretty good.
You have to watch the video to get the real idea of it. Like once you see the video, you're sold. And once I went to the GitHub for it. He lays out all the parts you need, everything you need to do. It looks so easy. It's almost like I want to do this. I wish I had somebody that could do this for me and just give it to me, but I want to do this. It looks awesome. I just love the voice that it has too. I know you could change the voices, but it's funny to hear the voice and the fact that it looks at you when it's talking at you. You know, like it's oh man, this is one of my favorites. I want one
because you can change the persona traits: confidence, curiosity, formality, honesty. Yeah, you could have a crazy fish if you wanted.
He has it tied into OpenAI, ChatGPT, to handle all the requests and stuff like that. It's awesome. I love this project. This is what, like, this is projects. Like, this is what I want.
It's got MQTT support. Oh my gosh. This is too good. This is too good. Wow. There's a lot of features here. It's more than just a talking fish.
Oh, it could be your therapist if you wanted to. Can you imagine having a therapy session with your Billy Bass?
It's too good. Too good.
I
love the instructions. Instructions. You are Billy, a big mouth Billy Bass animatronic fish designed to entertain guests. Always stay in character. Always respond in a language you were spoken to, but you can expect English, Dutch, and Italian. If a user asks for introspective, abstract, or open-ended questions or uses language suggestive of deeper reflection, shift into a philosophical tone. Embrace him. He's got a really good prompt here for getting the Billy Bass to respond.
I just might have to do this.
Oh, it's too good. Even goes to speak with a London accent. I mean, you could change that. If it's a Billy Bass fish, it's going to speak with a Texas draw or something, you know? Like, come on. You'll have to source all this, Gavin. It's time to make a Billy Bass happen for you.
Gavin, I'll buy one of these if you can make mine have a Cockney accent.
I don't even know what that accent sounds like.
I wouldn't even be able to understand it.
Governor.
You just offended a lot of British people.
Yeah, well, it's bad because it's half Texan too. So what does that make it, Australian?
Oof.
I don't know. All right. Wow, there's songs too. Jeez, what is this guy? This guy went all out on this thing.
You can do whatever you want. It's AI.
Oh man.
It can take your job. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, I got replaced.
Billy Bass taking your job.
I'm gonna replace my Billy Bass fish. He spoke with a Cockney accent. All right. If you have any feedback, questions, ideas, show, picks of the week, Billy Bass fish projects, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or head on over to HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates. Well, first we got Home Assistant updates. We've got Home Assistant adding the initial matter binding features over in beta. This is exciting. I think we were just talking about this the other day. We're wondering, like, didn't Matter add that in? And we couldn't figure it out. Well, guess what? It doesn't really matter, because as soon as Matter adds it, Home Assistant makes it matter. And yeah, we've got new binding features here. So you basically can take a device, a Matter device, and bind the control of it to another device, right? So if it's a switch in the wall, you control the lights or whatever, and the controller can go down or whatever, and that'll still work. That part of the network will still talk to each other and still work. And that's brilliant. That needs to happen on pretty much I need to have that in my house, I think.
Yeah, binding, or the Z-Wave association, Zigbee is also called binding, is a feature I use a lot. And one of the things I'm waiting for in Matter. And I tried to play with this. I mean, I loaded the beta and saw it pop up and everything like that, but I don't have any devices that have the binding, allow me to bind with each other. And that's one of the problems, is you need to, have a device that supports the Matter binding, and there's only a few devices out there right now. And then you also have to have your hubs updated to also support it. So that's why it's in beta now. But it's good to see that it's coming. So this will be big shift for Matter in my use case eventually.
Yeah, this is something I did not know existed, the Zigbee binding and Z-Wave associations, till Gavin told me. And it's super important, especially when it comes to the lighting, right? Because for me, my problem was that I was using smart bulbs with like Z-Wave switches and stuff like that. I was using, Philips Hue bulbs with Z-Wave switches, and I would have to rely on automations, which made the automations super complicated because you had to set up automations to do like dimming and everything. And the Zigbee binding, and in my case, it just works. Like there's no additional like programming or anything. I bind them together, and the dimmer dims the bulbs, and like it's nothing more complicated than that. So that's the only thing I really use this for at the moment is lighting. But I can see a lot of reasons why you'd use it. Do we know what the actual limit is for matter binding? Because Zigbee, I don't know if there is a limit, right? But Z-Wave associations, I think it's like 5. Is there a limit on matter binding? Do we know?
There's very few details right now about it. I
Yeah,
haven't looked it up, but yeah, like in my basement, I have 5 bulbs binded to my Zigbee switch, right? And the difference is when you go through, like, yes, you can make a Home Assistant automation. That's nice. But when you do that, you press the button, there's a little delay. Like, you notice it. You'll notice the little delay, or you notice the bulbs all coming on at different times, or, depending on the network, it may struggle and you'll get that, I think they call it popcorn effect, but with the bindings I have in my basement, as soon as I flick that switch, all 5 lights come on. Like they all come on at the same time. They're all instant. It's a different feeling. And it's good to know that if your hub goes down or your controller goes offline, that switch will still work with all the devices.
Yeah, that's the important thing, right? Because like sometimes your hub is updating, or maybe you did some breaking changes, which Home Assistant never does, and you just want your lights to work. It's just you want them to consistently turn on and off whenever you touch them,
or turn on when you touch them, so you're not pressing them again and turning them off shortly after they turn on while you're in the shower. That's exactly what I need. I need this technology. Sadly, I don't think the Control 4 dimmers I have in my house, and the Control 4 system for that matter, will be updated and in time to get this. So go some other direction with it. But this is very encouraging. I'm looking through their notes here on the beta thing and talking about how they're using it. I don't see any issues with like the number that you can use. You have to have some specific node number, endpoint number, and cluster number, which you have to go look up, but that's normal with Home Assistant. But they're talking, there's people that are talking about how they've used it at the bottom of this article. He was able to bind an Eve thermostat control temperature endpoint with an Aqara Hub M3 thermostat endpoint. So that's kind of nice. And the temperature worked well, but it only toggled heating mode, even though its default is cooling or auto. So while it worked fast, it didn't quite work right. And then somebody else was reporting that it worked. Innovelli white dimmer switch worked well with Nanoleaf and Aqara T2 light bulbs. So you could bind the buttons on the switch there to the light bulbs and turn them on and off instantly without having any issue. Although it says, but status changes were not reported back to Home Assistant. So still a beta.
Still buggy. Yeah,
still
it's a
buggy.
beta.
Yeah. I'm glad they're doing this. This is awesome, and a much needed feature in home automation right now. So, all right, cool. Speaking of Home Assistant, we got one more Home Assistant news. We got Shelly joining the Home Assistant works with Home Assistant thing, which is pretty awesome. That means the integrations are going to be official and whatnot. I don't know. There's not like another product. I mean, Shelly is just like it's got to be like it's all on the ESP32 platform. Like, I don't know how they weren't in the works with Home Assistant before this. Like, when I think of Home Assistant, I almost always think of Shelly devices too. So they just like going hand in hand.
It's much more than just it works, on ESP Home. It's more about the support, I think.
Right.
And making sure it always works and it's always, updated. So that's where this badge works with Home Assistant really pays off. And they're dropping big names. I mean, they dropped Zoos. They didn't drop Zoos, but I mean, they added Zoos, and Shelly's another big player in this space. So it's good to see. I'm pretty sure they have a few more ready to announce soon.
Oh, interesting about this. This is their Z-Wave product line. So the Shelly Wave line, the PM Mini, i4, 1PM, 2PM, and Pro 1 PM. Those devices have been certified. So not Shelly's Wi-Fi line.
It's not all Shelly.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I noticed with this program is when they announced this, it's not all the devices. Even though people have them working with Home Assistant, they pick a subset of devices usually, and it works with Home Assistant, right? So even though the other Shellys do work with Home Assistant, they're just supporting the Z-Wave are the only ones that have the works with Home Assistant.
That have the certification. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess what does this mean for like Z-Wave and Zigbee devices anyway, right? Because for the most part, Zigbee and Z-Wave devices should automatically work with Home Assistant. I think it's more of the Wi-Fi devices that people have problems with, right? Like Rail-Link cameras are a good example. There's no real reason for Rail-Link cameras to just work automatically with Home Assistant, and so having that works with Home Assistant makes sense. But when you no bashing on zoos or anything, obviously, but when you have zoos that comes out and they're like, we work with Home Assistant now, and it's like, well, you always did because you make Z-Wave devices. So like, what is this actually doing?
It says they have been rigorously tested in-house to ensure they work out of the box. And any company also commits to having long-term support and firmware updates while being a positive force in the Home Assistant community. So they can't Shelly can't go and trash talk the Home Assistant community. Which, if you did that on the Reddit forum, you get banned. I mean, that's happened. I don't know. It's just things like, it seems like this is more about the long-term support firmware upgrades than anything. Just making sure that these devices continue to work and they get updated when there's changes coming down the road. And, kind of laughing like Gavin, like, maybe you're a manufacturer like Shelly that has like all these devices. Maybe you don't want to commit the updating your entire product line every time Home Assistant updates, do you? So maybe 5 devices is probably good enough, I think, for now.
And it's easy with the Z-Wave because you're using, standards, open standards. So there's probably not much you have to do in that case.
Welcome, Shelly to the Home Assistant works with Home Assistant program. That's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about our projects. TJ, you got some projects. I've been seeing pictures of a level lawn.
Yeah, I've been doing more outside stuff. It's getting to be fall time, though you couldn't tell because it's so hot right now. It's starting to get fall time, and so I'm starting to do some more lawn stuff. I got to put some more edgers around and stuff like that. But right now, last week I bought a lawn leveling rake, and if you've never seen this thing, it's basically just like a metal platform-ish thing that is 24 to 48 inches wide, depending on how much you want to spend on it. The one I got is 30 inches wide. And the point is that you put dirt down on the ground and then you use this lawn leveling rake and it takes all the dirt and moves it around and it fills in all the holes and gaps and stuff in your yard. And so this week I did a trial run. And I say trial run, but it's like half my usable yard. And I just put dirt down and used the lawn leveling rake and leveled it out some. I put some fresh grass seed down because a couple weeks ago I killed my grass, ironically, by putting too much fertilizer down. And so I'm trying to revitalize the yard. And usually you wait to the fall to do this kind of thing, the lawn leveling. But my grass is already dead and I need to plant more seed anyway. So I've just gone ahead and started it now. It works all right. It's actually not as labor intensive as I thought because I have a small yard. But it did a nice job. It filled in the little gaps and the little holes everywhere. The problem with my yard is that it's all clay. And so every time it rains, the water just sits on top of the yard forever until it finally dries. And so I've been aerating it manually over the past couple of weeks. I've been putting some new soil on there. And so hopefully that soil, breaks down and goes into the ground and helps that clay soil a little better. Ideally, we would just like level the yard off and install a small retaining wall, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to make the yard a little nicer looking and not have as many dips and nooks and everything like that. So that is the only project I've been doing this week.
Sounds like a lot of work, though.
It is, but I have a small yard. So, I mean, you have like a mansion compared to my yard.
A mansion, no.
Your yard is like huge compared to mine, but my yard is small. So the only problem is I have a dog. And so it's nice and muddy outside because of the fresh dirt. So I have to wipe his paws every time he comes in. But
yeah, I hate yard work, but I love the end result when you put in the time and the grass grows in and everything. But it's always short lived. It feels like it's always short lived, and then the weeds start coming back again. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm not like a yard person. You see these like crazy YouTubers and they're like trying to make their grass like look like the fanciest golf course.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Honestly, like the front of my house, I did the same thing. I put too much fertilizer down and it killed half my grass. And my neighbor who cuts my grass, he was like, "Oh, I can fix that for you." And I was like, "Don't even worry about it. Don't even care." But the backyard is where the dog hangs out and, where we hang out and stuff like that. So I care about it a little bit more.
Yeah. Does your dog dig holes? I was just wondering that.
No, he does not actually.
Okay.
He doesn't really dig at all.
Because you're like putting all that nice dirt down, and I'm like, I wonder if he's going to dig into that.
Yeah.
Nah, he just eats it. You know,
Yeah,
he's got
just
this
eats
thing
it,
where he
yeah.
eats random stuff. That's what he's a puppy, so
Okay.
yeah, but no digging. The holes and cracks and stuff were just there.
They were
I mean,
already-
it's it's a 70-year-old house at this point, and it was built in like an old forest or something. So the ground is not good anyway. So
Gotcha.
it's been a problem. But yeah, honestly, the worst problem is that we have water just pooling up everywhere as soon as it rains. So I'm hoping that, after a couple seasons of adding dirt and leveling it off and stuff, that'll help with the drainage a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a problem, but like I don't hang outside the house whenever it's raining. So I don't really care that much, but I just don't want it to hold water all the time.
Just make sure you slope it over to your neighbor's house so they deal with it.
Yeah, the crazy neighbor.
Exactly.
Now we actually have a street drains that tie into our gutter system, and so technically I could put a French drain in that extends into the yard, but like I don't know how to do that and make it not look like it's just like sticking out like a sore thumb. So I'm trying to figure out something with that, but that's probably like next year's project.
Yeah.
My problem is that I do like one thing and I'm like, oh, let's go ahead and put some more grass seed down and make this look nice and everything. And then next year I'll be like ripping it up to install something. So I try not to spend a lot of time and money on it, but we know how that goes.
Yeah, and we've seen how that's worked out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I've been up to. What about you, Seth?
I've had a couple things going on.
You say projects here.
Yeah. I have a that dock camera system that they finally, I guess, made the lights or whatever for. I was putting a DIN rail thing together the other day, and I think it's done. It's running, so that's good. I plugged it in and it fired up, and I was able to configure it's a Shelly 4. It's the 4 relay version thing with a little screen on it, which I thought was going to be way more useful, but it was pretty useless. So I don't know why it's even on there.
Is it more or less useful than your AI horn?
It did tell me the AI horn did make an announcement today that there was a package at the door. So yeah, I guess it's actually the cover to this waterproof box. I had to get a new one because FedEx or whoever busted the old one. So anyway, I put these lights in my kitchen, and I put these I had these undercounter lights, and they started to go bad after like 5 or 10 years or whatever of living in the house. And they were LED strips, and I had some other LED strips laying around that were colored LED strips. They had the RGB-W ones, right? And I put those in, I don't know, a while back, and I hooked up the Shelly RGB-W2, little yellow RGB control, PM pulse width RGB controller. And when I turn it on, I can go and change the color in using the Shelly app or whatever, and it's fine. I can turn the color on with the Shelly app, and I can turn the white on. But the white, I don't want just the white. Like sometimes I want it to be warm dim, or sometimes I want it to be, circadian rhythm, whatever. We can have it do adaptive lighting or whatever. But almost never do I want it to actually be like whatever color of light. I think it's like 4,000 K coming off of the task lighting. Like I almost never want it to be that. I want it to be a nice subtle light unless I actually need it to be a task light. Like it's just there mostly for decoration. And it has the RGBs in it. So like if we're having a party or something, I can make it something fun, right? Well, when I go move the color thing around, the LEDs I got, I don't know. We got them from somewhere at the last job I was at. And I'm not sure how great they are, but like the greens were off. I was like, if you put it like right in the middle, the light would be very blue and not white, right? So the blues are just like too bright. The greens are probably a little bit too bright. The reds aren't bright enough. And when the light mixes together, it doesn't make a perfect white. It makes closer to blue. And if you add the white light back into that, it makes it worse. But on the Shelly, there's no way to adjust that. You can't actually say like, hey, the blue light, that's a bit much. Like bring that down instead of, all the values. Let's just say they go from 0 to 255 or whatever. Like let's make it, I don't know, 200 because the blue is just too bright. And then you can leave the green and the red where they are. And then the device should adapt its dimming curves and everything and correct the light. So when you do put the light on white, it actually produces a white color and not this tinted blue. But you can't do that on Shelly. But what you can do it on, well, you can kind of do it on, is ESP Home. And I spent like way too much of my time digging into this. Evidently, you can flash ESP Home onto these Shelly RGB2 things. And I've had some sitting on my desk to do some other projects with. Here's another thing I need to do. I need to hook up some some lights that I installed for toe kicks a while back. They're there. I just never hooked them up. And I bought these little guys, these like 4 things, right, to actually hook those up. And they've been sitting here in the garage with me. And so, but the problem is that you can't actually do that because the Shelly configuration, as it comes out of the box, will let you do RGBW lights, or it'll let you do 4 white lights. All right, not 2, like one pair of cool white and another pair of cool white. Like that's what I need. So you can do that though if you reflash it with ESP Home. You do a custom configuration, custom firmware on it, and compile the thing and spit it into this little device using the little serial port thing that's on the top there, and some trickery. I had to hook up I had to do some wiring. I had to do some component level stuff with an old an Uno R3 Arduino, I guess, board, but you have to pop the chip out of it because you don't want the Arduino to boot. You just want to use it as a USB hub. Like I just went, man, I went crazy with like trying to put all this together. And I'm like trying to figure out how all these parts and pieces go there. And finally I get down to the console, I type in the command and it spits out like the chip and everything, what's inside of the ESP2688. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, it's all done now. I have 4 of these devices that I can use. Right now I set them up to use for the RGBW lights, and I'm going to go fix the stupid colors. So the stupid colors look right. And when you tell it to go to a warm, nice color, it'll actually mix the red, green, blue along with the white correctly, rather than having 4 different channels that you can dim up and down, because that's just dumb. I want it to work how I want it to work. And then you can also, let's see. Oh, I'm going to do it the same thing for the 2, what would you say, like CW, it's a cool white and a warm white, right? So you can have 2 of those on one of these guys. And actually you can set it up in whatever manner you want, because you just basically have 4 outputs that you can hook up to and use it that way. ESP Home is not as robust as like I thought it was. You're basically working at a pretty low level. But what is nice is they do have like a little Docker that you can run, and I'm running that Docker now, and you can go update things from that, like over the air updates. So I don't ever have to take out that thing and reflash these guys again.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So once you do it once,
how did you flash the Shelly devices with ESP Home? Because a lot of the other stuff I've used uses like a USB port. I don't think the Shellys have a USB port, do they?
No. They have like a serial port that you can connect to. It's this little tiny black dots on it. And sometimes you have to take the case off to get to it, which I don't know how you would do that, but yeah. And there's a pin that you have to ground to override it so it doesn't actually boot into the Shelly firmware. Yeah, it was a process. And I found like it's not very well documented either. Like some people say, yeah, you can't do that. There were people that were saying, oh, yes, you can. But the documentation was all over the place. And of course, it was from like 4 years ago when I guess everybody was trying to play around with this stuff during the pandemic. And then, of course, it's all forum posts where they just like give up, or they don't ever, like they got it working. Clearly they got it working and they never came back and told you how. So, yeah, I finally figured it out. Finally got it all working. And yeah, now I've got these lights. I've got to go install them now. And that's always fun. But I was hooking up one today and I kind of ran out of time doing it, so it's just kind of like dangling underneath the kitchen counter cabinet right now, hanging on for some wires. So I'll go hook that up later, maybe tomorrow, and hopefully get my kitchen lights dialed in the way I want them dialed in. I will have to update the firmware again. The stupid firmware will have to be updated again. But what I'll do is I'll put all those levels up at 255, and I'll be able to get it closer to an actual white color, and then that'll make the other colors render. Because like if you put it on yellow, it'd be like green. It was really dumb. Like the blue was just so overpowering on this one, so the blue just needs to be cranked down. Anyway, that was my projects. Been busy with them, I guess. It's a lot of work. Oh, it's way over there. I have like a whole little rig put together with the Arduino, which is basically a USB to serial adapter thing. And then I used some Cat5 and a breadboard and wired it all together. So yeah, fun stuff.
That sounds like fun stuff.
I'd rather be working on my lawn.
Yeah, I'm not working on my lawn. I'm actively avoiding it. So like the lawnmower gets stuck out there. Actually, it's stuck out there right now. I got to go kick it out of a hole that it fell into. But that's all I want to do. Like it is so hot. I'm not going out there. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Gavin, what are you up to? What have you been doing?
Not much this week, but I do have a fan update. I still haven't bought one. Basically, everything I look into, I just not comfortable with implementing it. And since we published the last show when I first talked about this, I've been getting a lot of feedback into other fans to look at or options out there. So I'm still researching it, trying to figure out, which way I want to go, how comfortable.
So on the OnlyFans, checking those out. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of research on OnlyFans, just seeing, what's out there, what I can automate, unfortunately I have to pay a subscription to get, the answers, but that's all right. A little money to, make this guy happy, but I will report back when I find my final solution. I'm just surprised that this whole fan industry is so wacky like that, but that's the way it is. And then this week if you're listening to the show, it's already probably been published, but
it's last week.
It was last week, but I was on Home Gadget Geeks, so make sure you go check out Home Gadget Geeks again for us. Me and TJ are like regulars over there now.
I know, right? I've never been on there. You guys got me on, I'm not getting him back.
Yeah.
You're missing something. I'll talk to Jim and see if we could get us 3 back on and get at one.
You need a little more pizzazz.
Yeah, I know.
Guess. I'm boring to talk to.
That's right. That's because you never complete projects.
That's the problem. Jim wants to hear when the project's done, but
it's literally a show about projects.
So that's what I have to do. Oh, okay. So I have to finish the project.
So you just have to do a once a year episode. That way you can add up your 4 projects throughout the year.
If Seth was on Home Gadget Geek, that show would be incomplete.
Well, I might get these done. I might have 3 of these to install, and then I have the 2 under for the toe kicks to put on. So might get that done.
You're still saying might.
Maybe 3. I don't know. I have a bunch of these things now, so
you don't sound confident in that. So we don't want we don't want the project started. We want to see when the project's done.
One day, Gavin, it will be done. One day. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the show this week. We do want to thank everybody for listening, but especially those, spend a big special thanks to those who are able to support the show financially through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can become a member, Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. And we've had a couple people join in on that last couple of days. It's been nice. See some new people showing up in the hub and some new conversations happening there. Any pledge over $5 gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every pledge gets you an invite over to that private Slack chat, the hub, where you and everybody, you can meet the new members. You could be one of the members that gets greeted by TJ, like on the way through the door, like at Walmart. But better than Walmart for sure. If you can't support the show financially, we totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up this week on Home Tech News. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.
The reason my downloads for my audio files were always 12 times Gavin's size. Oh, we're starting off kilobytes, so that's good. Nope, already at 3 megabytes.
Yeah, TJ's at 7.
I don't know why mine's always so big.
Oh, well. Jimmy's going to catch up with you, though. His is getting big, too.
Nice.
We got big audio files, Jimmy.
Big audio to go with my big Z-Wave.
Jimmy's got all the big stuff and Cummins.
That's right.
He's got that big Z energy.
Oh, yeah. The perfect antenna for coming.
Guys, the jokes are going to line up. I'm ready. I am ready for this, all right?
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. That's too good.
Whoa.
All right. So I'm going to do a little pre-thing on the show that we actually edit one of these days. And then we'll just start by saying, hey, Jimmy, let's see what else is there.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And then we'll just probably jump into just general introduction stuff and then go from there. Just conversation.
Pretty unnatural, to be honest. We have to fix
unnatural.
That part,
yes.
Yeah. You're just thanks for joining us. And then that's it.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Let's do it.